God can do the impossible. Only if you believe. He specializes in doing big things. God can do the impossible. Anything that you need, just get your eyes off the things that you see. God can do the impossible.
Hello, my name is Robbie. On here, I'm Templar Knight. Every person who believes in God but does not attend church has a story why. But it's said that whenever two or more people gather in God's name, that He is there. So this is church. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Tonight we are continuing with the Impossible series, talking about miracles. And tonight the miracle we are going to discuss is creation. I don't know about you guys, but I like to create things. It started when I was growing up. I had a lot of Legos. I think most boys did growing up, but I really enjoyed my Legos. I remember playing them, waking up super early in the morning, because I've always been a morning person, and trying so quietly to shuffle through this massive mound of Legos spilled all over my bedroom floor, because I knew they were loud and I didn't want to wake my parents. But I had to find that perfect piece that I knew was there. So I'd have to just through the pile, trying so hard to find that one piece that I needed. And I remember my mom waking up at like 6 and coming like me like, "Do you have to play with your Legos right now?" And I'd be sitting on the floor. "I'm sorry, I'll try and be quiet." Legos are not a toy meant to be quiet. But I was always so focused on having to create things just right, whether it was a spaceship or a base or a vehicle or whatever I felt like building. It had to be just right. I couldn't just do it, well, this piece will work. I had to find all the right pieces. And that made Legos loud. When I got older, I started creating music. I got a keyboard, I got a drum machine, I had a keypad, I had a pen and a pencil. And paper. Words are hard. But I essentially turned my room into a recording studio so that I could write songs, because music was a big thing for me. And I remember having to go through and hit all the keys to figure out what sound I was listening for, because I could hear it in my head. But I had to find the right button on the keyboard to make it come out. And through that, I could create music. I could create lyrics. I could create rhymes and words to make songs. I made something. Even now, I still dabble in music a little bit. I still like to write. Now most of my energy is spent making these silly sounds for people. I love doing it though. I love taking the materials and creating something with it. And seeing the looks on their faces when they see what I did. I'm like that little kid. "Look, I made this. See? Isn't it special? Isn't it cool? Don't you like it?" I can use my creations and I can spread happiness with them. Nothing brings me greater joy than being in someone's stream, or people being in my stream and playing something I created and getting a message like, "Hey dude, that's awesome. Can I have that?" Yeah. If you ever hear a sound on my stream that you want, it's yours, just ask. I want to share what I've done. I want to share my creations. More importantly, I love it when people ask, "Hey, can you do this? Could you make this for me?" Because then they're trusting me to create for them. They want my help to do something because they know I can, or they hope I can. And I get to create something special for them. I can't draw, I can't do art good, but I can make sounds, I can make music. I can make happiness. I can create that. But that's just me and what I can do. If I have enough time and I can hear it in my head and I in the right frame of mind and I can find the right clips and the right audio and I can find the sounds that I need. That's my creation. That's not a miracle. When we are talking about the miracle of creation, let's start at the very beginning, because it's a very good place to start. The very first book in the Bible, the very first words are talking about God and the first miracles he did when he created, when he made something. On the very first day, he made the heavens and the earth. Now, when I sit back and I look at pictures of Earth, of this amazing planet we have, in comparison to other planets, you can tell this was his favorite. He definitely put the most time into this one. Earth is by far his best planet. But he also made the heavens. And I've heard stories. I've read. But I don't know what it's like. I can imagine. But I bet it's pretty amazing up there. On the second day, he took this planet and he made land and he made water to separate the different lands. On the third day, he made plant life. He made trees and weeds and grass. Now, this may seem out of place, but on the fourth day, he made the sun, and he made the moon, and he made the stars. Now, from what we know of modern science, that seems a little out of place because we know that the Earth evolves around the sun. So it's easy for me to think that the sun would have come first. I've seen pictures of how big our solar system is. I've seen how big the galaxy is, the universe. It's never ending. He waited till day 4 to make all that other stuff. Because he started here. He started with Earth. And then he went and he made the sun. And he gave the Earth a little flick and said, go around that. He made the moon. He gave a little flick and said, hey, go around Earth. And he started this motion. But he started with Earth. Because it was the most important. Now, once he had the solar systems, all of space, our planet functioning with plant life, that was when he added the animals. On day 5, he put all the animals on Earth. Animals on land, animals on sea, animals in the air. Then, on day 6, he created humans. He made us. Now, a lot of people will be like, well, Robbie, that doesn't make sense. Dinosaurs were extinct before humans were around, and there's scientific proof that dinosaurs lived for billions of years. You are correct. The best argument I've heard about that, which I thoroughly enjoy and personally believe in, how long is a day to God? I know it's just a theory, but it's something that I like to think about. How long is God's day? If he spent one day to make the earth and the heavens, he spent one day to create all the animals. He spent one day making the entire universe. How long is his day? We're stuck thinking 24-hour clock. One revolution of his planet Earth around this sun that he made. Seems kind of silly to think that God would follow our time. What if That explains why the dinosaurs lived for billions of years before humans were around. I'm sorry, I'm getting off topic. We're talking about all of God's great creations, not how long it took him to do it. So now there's humans on Earth. The biggest kicker that makes this such a miracle, God didn't have dirt and water and stone. He didn't have that stuff just laying around. He didn't have this giant pile of Legos that he was siphoning through to find just the right piece. He created the right piece. He created what he needed. That's the miracle of it. Despite how good I am at creating some things, I cannot just make what I need appear. I'm only man. I cannot do such a miracle to just find what I need out of nothing and create something with it. I wish I could. I would love to snap in the air and create a few $1,000s. Could be useful. I would love to go to the gas station and just create some gas to put in the car. But I cannot create out of nothing. God can. To understand God's power is more than I'm capable of, more than I could teach, more than I could explain. That's why I picked that song for our intro. Because it is impossible. And God can do the impossible. God can make something from nothing. If we take it to a more real time, let's talk about another miracle performed. This time by God's kid. In the beginning of the book of John, chapter 2, it talks about a time when Jesus was just starting his ministry. He was just starting to do his thing. And he performed a miracle. Now what happened? Jesus and his guys, the disciples, they were taking his show on the road. They were out doing their thing, preaching and teaching, spreading God's love to the world. And they got invited to a wedding. And Jesus is kind of big on weddings. Weddings are a pretty big deal to him and his father, you know. Weddings are a very big deal. We'll go more into that in our next series. But Jesus is at this wedding. They've already done the ceremony, they're chilling, they're having the reception, they're just hanging out, having some good food, celebrating. When the unthinkable happens, they ran out of wine. Now, I don't mean they ran out of wine as in like, oh no, there's no more drinking. Wine was more commonly used back in biblical time because oftentimes it was more clean than the water. So wine was a common drink. I mean, they would drink water when they could, but you were more like to have wine the way most of us have soda. You go out for supper, get some food, get a little wine, call it a night. They didn't drink water as often as they drank wine. And they ran out of drink. They didn't have any more wine for this wedding, which was kind of a big deal. It doesn't bode well for the wedding. Doesn't bode well for the ceremony. It's a bad thing. So they kind of freaking out and they're like, what do we do? Well, guess what's going on? This guy Jesus is over here, says he can do miracles. He's like, he's preaching all this power and stuff he says he can do. Let's talk to him. They go and say, Jesus, We ran out of wine. Can you help us? Now, I would love to think of what is going on in his head right now, because he's sitting here saying, okay, God sent me to earth to go and show the world his love and the super top secret mission that I'm not supposed to talk about. I know I've got the ability to do this. I know God would let me. You know what? Yeah, let's put on a show. So he tells them to take these pitchers of water. Says, fill the pitchers up. Go get whatever water you can get. Just fill these up with water. And so they do. And he takes his pitchers and he prays. He says, hey, Pops, can you hook me up? We out of wine. Thanks. And he takes the pitcher and he starts to pour. And it's not water. It's wine now. But it's not just like run-of-the-mill wine. It is the best wine. The good stuff. That stuff that most people there, they ain't never tasted. It is such great wine that their minds are just blown. And so they filling up these pitchers with water. And this dude, Jesus, is taking them. And he's sitting there, takes the pitcher. Hey, Pops, little help. Prays over the pitcher, starts pouring it out, and it's wine. Because God did miracles. He allowed his son Jesus to take that water and turn it into wine. He skipped all the steps. Normally, to make good wine, well, step one, grapes. Someone has to go out and pick them. No, Jesus skipping that part. Then you got to take all the grapes. You got to smash them down to make the grape juice. No, Jesus skipping that part. Then you got to let sit and ferment and add all the stuff to make it into this great wine. Nope, Jesus is skipping all that. He's skipping all the work and getting straight to the reward. And he blessed these people and their marriage by providing them with this wine. You know, there are times in my life that I wish Jesus would skip those steps and go straight to the reward for me. I wish he would show up in my life and say, hey God, little help. And he would take my water and he would turn it into wine. Not just any wine, the best. Because right now I have to work for it. I have to pick those grapes. I have to smash them into wine. I have to work hard for the good life, for things to go right, for my life to truly be blessed. Let you in a little secret. You don't have to. See, I know this guy. I know this Jesus. And he can do miracles in your life. He can make something out of nothing. He can take all the struggle, all that extra labor, and take you straight to the rewards. Bring you that greatness. Just like at that wedding. Jesus was just there chilling, enjoying the celebration. He had no intent on intervening. He was just going to sit back and have himself a good time. And what was the key step? They asked him. They approached him, they humbled themselves, and they said, Jesus, we're in trouble. We've run out of wine. And we've heard that you can do miracles. Can you help us? Man, I've been living this life long enough to know that, God, sometimes I'm in trouble. Sometimes I'm out of wine. So these are my options. I head out and I start picking grapes. Or I talk to Jesus and I'm like, man, I'm in trouble. Can you help me? And then I sit back and I watch miracles. I watch blessings fall around me. I watch God do amazing things. Because I can humble myself. And I can ask. And I can know what He's capable of doing. Because I believe, as this series is all about, that God can do the impossible. He made our planet out of nothing. He made the sun, He made all animals, all life. He made all that out of nothing. I've got the pieces. Imagine what He could do with me if I asked Him to.